7 crianças. Todas as... Tá avisando que o mutirão não trabalha as duas. Todas as segundas-feiras o mutirão não trabalha. É claro, vai trabalhar todo dia, né? Ninguém merece. Quem que aguenta trabalhar todo dia? Meu Deus do céu. Imagina a pessoa ter que ir no trabalho, voltar e ainda construir sua casa no mutirão. Já sei, Lincoln, por que a gente não pergunta pra tia Edna o que é um mutirão pra ela explicar melhor?
Construir junto. Todo mundo junto, como uma brincadeira. O mutirão é como uma brincadeira. Cada um ajuda conforme pode. No mutirão, você tem gente que vai para contar piada. Ele também anima para a pessoa a carregar, sabe, ficar mais leve todo o processo de carregar bloco, de carregar areia. Então, o mutirão é algo que é feito com todas as mãos e todo mundo de acordo com o que ele pode fazer, o que ele pode doar, o que ele pode fazer, como ele se sente bem. O mutirão é isso.
Os carros, os mesmos carros. Deve ser ali. Povinhação, não. É povinhação da Edna, que ela faz reunião pra ter casa. Entendeu, galera? Gente, voltamos. Vamos lá. Passa a produção. Gente, essa imagem é a mesma coisa, mas só que não tá aparecendo e estavam construindo ainda. Olha, um monte de criança. Sempre tem criança. Sempre. Todo canto por aqui tem criança. Editor, põe um vídeo antigo das crianças e bota uma música tipo assim, blá 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 blá. Aquele lá bem antigo. Aquele lá que você mostrou pra nós bem antigo. Como assim não lembra? Parece que só eu reparei nas crianças então. Um monte de marmanja assistindo, ninguém viu as crianças.
Eu trabalho com criança, meu desenvolvimento aqui é só com as crianças. Então, eu quis fazer esse trabalho com as crianças porque as mães vêm aqui pro mutirão, né? E os pais, eles precisam dar 16 horas por semana e não tem com quem deixar os seus filhos. E eu achei que os filhos ficando andando aqui na área, né, corria risco de vida. Então eu achei melhor a gente fazer uma creche e trabalhar com eles.
Gente, esse aí é o povinhação quase já construído, que eu tô vendo, né? E ele já mudou muito, se vocês forem lá, vocês vão ver. E aí é um monte de casas, parecendo um desenho, mas não é, gente. E esse aí é um monte de pessoas indo no povinhação. Esse aí é a reunião do povinhação pra ter casa, bastante pessoas tá lá. Essa aí é as pessoas que elas estavam ajudando elas cavando. Gente, olha essa foto! Nem meu celular tira foto tão boa assim. Isso aí, gente, é quase tudo construído. Essa aí já é tudo construído. Gente, vocês que estão assistindo o filme, vocês nem fazem ideia como é aqui. Vocês têm que vir aqui pra ver. Isso aí é minha rua onde eu moro, pessoal. Tchau! Tchau, fofuchos e fofuchas. E até o próximo filme, que se chama Filme Sem Querer. Tchau.
Tô de jet na quebrada, pro buchicho eu dou risada. Minha vaca apagada, cê não entende a caminhada, cê não vai roubar minha pista. Eu tô de jet na quebrada, pro buchicho eu dou risada. Minha vaca apagada, cê não entende a caminhada, cê não vai roubar minha pista.
Lincoln, você fica me pedindo pra contar a história, daqui a pouco eu vou inventar tudo, tá? Já inventei que é minha tia e minha avó, mas se você pensar bem, pode ser.
Tô de copa no capão, madrugada que eu não me retiro. Eles tão querendo nosso sangue e eu tô tipo Blade caçando vampiro. Eu tô de copa no capão, quando o parque enrola o cabo. Ela me julga de criminoso, só me fala que eu sou ocupado. Joguei, toda ficha joguei. Ponteiro não tem ponto pra zica e se aprontar eu matei. Cansei, pede break, parei. E quer atrasar minha caminhada, mas pra vocês é só noite. Eu não perco mais por nada, só a conta de tanta gente que se calou com isso. Ferro quebra, passa nada, vou devolver pra família 3 segundos de serviço. Tô de jet na quebrada, pro buchicho eu dou risada. Minha vaca apagada, cê não entende a caminhada, cê não vai roubar minha pista. Eu tô de jet na quebrada, pro buchicho eu dou risada. Minha vaca apagada.
The women's, you know, indigenous and black women's who at the time needed to be at home where their husbands were downtown working. So actually to live, they needed to construct their own houses, you know. So if you go there, as my narrator says, if you go there, you see, you know, like it's different. Of course we can watch, but if you put your foot on the ground, you really see. And yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about this concept of mutirao and also the language and the origin of it and how it has been sort of turned into a Portuguese word, but where it came from?
I talked already a little bit, but as I said, like mutirão is a Portuguese word to describe collective effort, you know, but it is a Portuguese adapted word from mutiro. Mutiro is in Tupi, my native language, means actually collective work, you know, task force, and actually actions, you know. And in Portuguese, we just call mutirão, but the practice is not there, you know. So we, as indigenous, we always say that we are the land. We are not just son of the land, we are the land. The land and us are the same thing, you know. Then when we construct, then we mix with the land, we have to have like such respectful practices, you know. So when you build something there, you need to be connected with the land. So mutiro for me describes we are connected to the land, so we are collective connected to the land, you know.
So this concept of mutiro is very similar to nafir, and I'm sure there's probably words in Luganda and Swahili and other languages.
That I want to hear. You guys like has a Rupa has a similar word here in Uganda too, or maybe a word in Sudan too for describes. What did you say? Nahir,
Nafir.
Nafir.
Yeah. And one of the things that Elke and I have been talking about is how the way you make cinema is also in this spirit. Like you make film collectively, you make it in the spirit of mutual aid. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like where was the first place you screened this film? And also about the sort of technical aspects. Like how did you start making film? What equipment did you have? This film is super simple. It's photographs and your niece's voice, basically.
Yeah, I always say that it's super simple, but just us can do, you know? Because one time I showed, not this film, but other film that I made like with a cyber shot, I show in a university. People, I was giving a lecture, and some white rich kids in the university. It was a very high class university. I heard one of them saying like, "Oh, this is cinema. I can make," and I was like, "No, you can't." And I have like the same movie. I was screening in a public school in my neighborhood, and I saw a kid seeing like their streets, and I saw a kid like saying the same thing. This is cinema. I can't do it. So different words, same words, but different words. You know, they think that they can do because they think they have possessed of everything. You know, they have propriety to do everything because they stole us. They stole us. They still stole us. So, but if I show to a kid, one of my kids, and they think that they can make cinema, for me, this is why I make cinema, you know. I don't need like big equipment, you know. If I have a film that needs like a big camera and big crew, you know, like I will do, but I will do it at the same way, because in Mutiro, we do with nothing and we do with everything in the same way, you know. If we had the research, we are doing the films, our houses, at the same way, at the same idea as Mutiro teaches, you know. And for me, it's amazing to screening this film. Like I've been screening these films 2 years, in the past 2 years, in more than 50 film festivals. But the first time that I screened this film, it was in Duda's schools, who is the actually is my niece. You know, I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's my niece. And I screening in her school for the first time, and now I'm screening here like 2 years later. And in her school, people are adapting this movie to a book, you know. A teacher of the school started to work with the kids, like to themselves write the story of their neighborhood. Like, what did you know about your neighborhood? What should you know about your space, you know? And for me, this is amazing because like we always need to remember who built the place that we are, you know? Whose land is this land? Who actually is this land, you know? We need to do this more often, you know? Like, for example, in Brazil, Brazil is indigenous land. So people say like, oh, we are here in the São Paulo Film Festival. No, we are in the indigenous land, and make your film festival in our land, you know? We need to remember. So when we make films with our people, for our people, and preserve this memory and tells how this memory is important for us, we are not just preserving for others, but we are saying to our own people how our neighborhood was constructed by us, not by a mayor who made a street, not by a president, you know. Fuck them, because like they will put like in the street their names. They will put like, oh, in the roads, you know. In Brazil, we just have avenues with bandeirantes names, who is like the colonizers who rape our elders, who kill our people in the forest, you know. We have streets with their names. We have statues, like big statues in the middle of the city. If I can show, not if, but I can show to my people and I can show to the government, oh, no, you don't build our neighborhood. We build our neighborhood, you know. Even a child knows. If you don't know, even my niece knows, you know. And if the government still wants to put their name there, no, the people will know that we make this film. So Mutiro is a continual idea. It's a continual, not just practice, but knowledge. It's collective knowledge too.
Thank you, LK. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I think this was a really brilliant film. The simplicity of it, but also like in Uganda, and I know in most countries as well, like land is a big thing. We are like possessors of our ancestral land. I just wanted to congratulate you, and using a child to tell this story is really, it was really, really dope, because you know, you listen to this child with very important information, but it's also inspiring that you don't need video moving images to tell a story. Sound can drive you by, like, it's really dope. I wanted to say kudos to that. And yeah, we need to see more of these stories. It's more, yeah, that's it. It's really good.
Oh, thank you. You know, one thing that in the process of make this film, I was like making this film and looking for images of the past of my neighborhood, and one a funny thing that tells like a lot of things is that I didn't found like moving images about my neighborhood because we don't have camera at the time, you know. These photos were taken by the organization because they knew that it was important to portray them like their fight, you know. But the moving images was so I forgot the word. Is escasez? Like we have little bit scarce, and the funny thing that was I found, but all of the images of the construction of my neighborhood was in the hand of white rich people. So it was so fucking crazy because I was knocking on a guy's door like, oh, you can give the image of my mom's constructing our house. You can give the image of my aunt, like giving an interview. And someone then didn't answer me, you know. A guy, Julio Weiner, actually was the guy who gave me the images, like of the moving images that we see in the movie. And because he at the time was involved in a film collective too, you know, a leftist film collective who work with the mutirões to register, you know. But even though on the left film collective, people don't give me, you know, like one guy have like the good heart to give me, you know, like what belongs to us. So this is so crazy because like when we are doing cinema and we are here talking about our films, talking about like the things that we do, I'm saying that this belongs to me, you know. But you can use it in your school. You can screen to your child. Actually, I can give you the link. You please screen it to the kids here, you know. You can do, because our way to do stuff is not to robber our stuffs, you know. It's different, you know. But now I'm here like to talk like, no, this is my film. This is about my neighborhood. And if some rich guy try to steal, we'll be so embarrassed because how many people here know that is our film, you know? I have like so much voices and hands to defend us, you know? So Mutirão is a continuing idea. Here we are doing Mutirão. We are continuing like defend ourselves collectively, you know? It's just self-defense, you know? I always think that making films is self-defense. It's produce proofs, you know, against the violence, you know, even though we portray us as happy people, as people who likes to dance, who likes to party, you know. I will screen like my new short film that I was screening in France, you know, just a closed session, but it will be the first screening here. And you see like it's a film about not just about being together, but how our memories like that we have in our phones, that we have like in the internet is important to us too, you know. And then after we discuss more, I will screen. But the idea is like to use any kind of material, independent, like if that looks cinema or not, to make our own films.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alex. This is very magnificent. We really, your films give us more information. So, my question is, what is purpose behind to making film? Because now what I understand from your film, it's showing like indigenous people, their culture somehow, and showing people somehow their collective work. This also culture, to collective work, this type of culture, some people can show, can know, like constructing neighborhoods should be like collective work. And is it your like how you make like this film? Because sometimes there is lack of material at that time, like there is no smart camera, there is no smartphone. How you are going to maintain these things at that time?
Thank you. So I started to make films with a cell phone, you know, that my mom's boss gave to me, you know. And for me, it was so amazing, like see my neighborhood in a little screen. It was the first time that I saw, and I thought that this is cinema, you know. And I learned by myself to do, you know, I don't have a degree, for example. And I learned by myself, and I continue. I have more than 15 short films now, because I realized play with my friends and recording ourselves in a cell phone. And at the time, it was so difficult to have a cell phone. We didn't have a cell phone in the hood, you know. This is a new thing for every one of us, you know. We need to remember, like, the access to equipment still is a problem. It still is a big problem. People say, like, oh, we have access to cell phones now to make films. No, some people don't have cell phones. You know, we need to think about this. Still in the hood, people don't have cell phones. But at the time, it was most difficult than then. But for me, it was so amazing because when I saw my neighborhood in this little screen, I kept to remember the films that I watch. You know, like, oh, this seems like the film, you know. How I can look more film, you know. I remember a compliment that a childhood friend of mine says, like, he says, like, Liquito, who is my nickname, LK is for Liquito, and he says, like, Liquito, your films looks like films. And I was like, thank you, because I was trying so hard at the time to look like film, because it was just this Nokia N95 set of cell phone, you know, and I was like, yeah, I don't need anyone approvals. Like, Neo just gave me approval. Neo is the name of the guy. Neo just gave me the approval, you know. Then 5 years later, I got a scholarship in an international film school in São Paulo. And then I realized that people who make cinema, not just in Brazil, but in the world, doesn't look like me, you know, doesn't dress like me, doesn't talk like me. And I was like, oh shit, this is for me. It was in film school that I started to doubt myself, you know, that I start to deal like with people, with high-class people, because I never left my neighborhood until I got 18, you know. Our life was inside our neighborhood. So, for example, like, it's the third time that I travel outside my country, you know, like November past was the first time that I left Brazil. So I'm still living an experience. So for me, making cinema, you ask for what it's for, is to be here, you know, with my people outside my country. Because for me, don't make sense film festivals, like Rupa says, you know, like this idea of like this big filmmaker who knows everything about everyone, for me is like, no. I'm here to learn, I'm here to show my place, I'm here to talk about the things. We know, I always say that I talk a lot because I have a lot to talk, you know, because in our family, in our Guarani family, we always say, like, words, don't throw words at the wind. Don't throw words at the wind. So if I'm saying something, I have a responsibility, but that I'm saying, you know. So share films, share cinema, and learn about cinema. For me, is this idea of that we can collectively change the world, but we can begin in our world, you know, in our place. In our case, not just here in Uganda, but the Sudanese case, you know, like maybe this is not the way that you guys will portray your place, you know, but you invent the form to portray your place. You guys have your memory about your place, you know, and you can portray like it everything, even though without image, just like with a cell phone narrator, you know. And we have like the funny thing that we have like this European experimentalists, you know, like who make films with a black screen, you know, like, and people was like, oh, congratulations. Then when we make films like with less money, people say, oh no, this film is less, you know. So what for me is like it's still a colonial thing, you know. I don't know if I answer. I think.
Yeah, I'm going to take one more question and then we're going to move on to the next film, the world premiere.
Yeah. But I will be here, guys. And we will be together the whole day to talk, you know. Hi, bro.
Okay, thank you first, and I'm so happy to show your experience. You taking me far and deeply to thinking about home in philosophy. What is mean home for us? I mean for human. Thinking about construction, what is mean, and the collective work for us. When I'm watching, I can see the long shot and the picture. Just the picture. You need to make audience inside the movie. I mean, you need to make audience to play the movie. You get it me? Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking
It's
about.
sorry, you need the audience for the movie exist.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I'm thinking about the light. What is mean for us? The light, the long shot for the picture. It's mean cinematography. I think it's mean there are. Bienvenue, like the beginning of life, yeah.
Take your time.
تمام طيب وانا بفكر في الضوء في الضوء في الضوء في الفيلم بتاع LK. يعني بفكر في انه الضوء ده بيعني شنو في السينما. يعني الضوء ذاته يعني طيلة العرض هو عنده معاني، عندها علاقة بالشروق، بالفكرة بتاعت الانتصار، بأفكار كثيرة شديد. والحتة بتاعت إنه كل اللقطات في العرض جاية من اللقطة الطويلة أو اللونج شوت، يعني برضه هي عندها معاني في الفلسفة بتاعت السينما، التصوير، يعني التصوير السينمائي بصورة بسيطة شديد. ف استهدافه برضه زي ما قالت الزميلة اليوغندية هنا، استهدافه أو استخدامه للأطفال في القصة دي، أو في روايته لقصتهم. هو عنده علاقة باستهدافه للأجيال الجاية، بإنه كيف تستلهم الفكرة بتاعت البناء وكده. يعني أنا قدرت يعني أحس بأحاسيس كثيرة شديد وأنا قاعد أشاهد. لكن الحيلة الكويسة إنه خلانا نحن نلعب الدور بتاع البناء اللي عنده علاقة بالكولكتيف ويرك، ونحن بنستدعى في ذاكرتنا النفير مثلا في السودان أو في يوغندا وكده. شكرا.
Amazing. Thank you, man. Thank you. I love, like, it's good that in the next film I have like one scene that I was playing with the light, you know. So it's a good introduction for the next film. The next film has like this play with the lights too, and I always think, and we always need to remember that cinema is a language, you know. As our language, this language, English, Portuguese, Arabic, you know, can be the colonizer language, or we can steal for them, like to try to communicate ourselves, you know. And cinema for me is the same thing, you know. Was invented by French or by American, blah, 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 but we still have our opportunity to work in this language. So language, I mean sound and light, you know. And we can be intellectuals in this language too, you know. We are like, in our language, we are intellectuals already. The big intellectuals that I met was in my hood, you know, was the elders in bars, like taking beer and talk about life. And I was like, oh, this guy knows so much. This mom knows. I don't know if it has like someone with more knowledge than moms, you know. Moms is like, we always need to learn with them. My mom like raised me and my sister without nothing, without zero money, you know, without nothing. And I still can't figure it out how he did this, you know. But always when I'm starting a new movie and seeing the budget and the grants, you know, I'm always learning with my mom, you know. how I can do like my mom did, you know, like how I can did in the best format, you know, the best form. So we need to remember that, always remember that cinema is a language, because we are so used to journalism, we are so used with social media, but the poetic language, the poetic, the possibility of writing poems, like in cinema or in writing, is very real for me, you know. And for me, it's not just to portray like a different way that people see us, because like, I don't know if when I'm saying that I'm from Brazil, you guys maybe like remember as us as a footballers, and it was a good thing. I was a footballer player until the 16. So, but people always remember like Brazilian favelas and places like mine with violence, with criminality, with like, and people. At the same time, when I ask you like how Sudan is for you, you will remember like every piece of Sudan, your memories, your heart there, you know, your foot, your bare foot on the ground. Not just like broken things, war, you know. Of course we have this, but we have so much more than this. And for me, it's so much important like to portray my neighborhood, like to my people, that we can see us not, because even though our people see us as violent when they watch the movies, you know, I have an uncle who was arrested. I said this example yesterday, but I will repeat. An uncle who was arrested, and the TV station recorded him being arrested and put in the open TV, and people start to like disgrace him, you know, like even though my family was like, oh, no, Milton, no, no, no. And for the media was another Indian arrest, you know. But for me, it's my beloved uncle. And I can't see like his image in that way. So I need to change his image. I need to portray him like different than the media, you know? So as a language, cinema gives me the possibility of work like this, you know? With light, with sound, I can portray to Milton as this beautiful indigenous elder man, you know, who helped me a lot in my life, in my childhood, in our childhood's family, you know, not the Indian who got arrested. So for me it's important, like, continues to show us as a whole universe, not just a piece, you know. I have there's a hip hop group in my neighborhood called the Racionais MCs, who's like, rap teach me how to make cinema, you know. Was not European cinema, was rap music. And Mano Brown, who is like, for me, is the biggest poet in Brazil. He's the singer in his group. He says, each one of us is a universe in crisis. Cada de nós é universo em crise. Cada de nós é universo em crise. So this universe interests me so much because I'm a universe too, and we are a universe, you know. And our place is like our land. So we have so much to portray us, you know. Even though in difficult times, I know that if I show you an image of some place that you ever been, you will remember like everything about this place, not just like the violent piece of the place, you know. As Mutirão, like, of course we have criminality, of course, like we have blah blah blah. But when we see Mutirão by my niece's eyes, you know, it's so different. It's so different than the image that media portrays, you know. I don't know, I don't remember if I mentioned, but when I was starting to make this film, I was so sad because in the middle of the pandemic, I was seeing my elders dying. About like, we have like a fascist president who like, it was against vaccines and people were dying, you know. And it was so sad, like seeing like our bibliotheks, our libraries dying, you know, like because our elders are our libraries. And I was like, I need to make this film. I need to make this film for honor their memory. And I was so sad, so sad. And I started to talk with the people who built the house, and they were so sad too, because they were just remember struggles, how difficult it was at time, like to have the money to construct. Then I showed to my niece the photos, and she's like, start to laugh and make jokes, and oh, this is my place. And I was like, oh shit. And she was so much joy, has so much joy, and I was like, what I'm doing, like, I need to show to more kids this, you know. Then I start to do the research with the elders, but ask them about their childhood. They start to remember their childhood, like, and start to cry. And I start to cry. I even remember I will be crying here because they start to remember them as a human beings. Like, oh, we like to play. We are just child. We are just child. Okay, we are fighting. We are fighting a lot, but we are just child. You know. If you think about Sudanese child right now, they are child. They are child, and they are fighting a lot. You know. So I was like in shock, like seeing this. And then the click in my mind was like, my film is for kids, you know. And I just show my niece photos, and she's like a YouTuber. She's like on TikTok, and she just did the film for me, you know, because she started to narrate like these react things that they have on social media, and I was like, no, my movies are react, you know. I showed them, I showed the photos, and it was so funny because like sometimes she's saying like some things that wrong, you know, like because at the time she was learning to speak, and then I show like a rough cut, and she's like, no, I don't want to portray me like this. Let's record again. So we record again, and she wants to record again, you know, like I have like when we have like this big sign that says like in Mondays the task force don't work. She was trying to read, but she didn't read well, and I was showing to her, and she's like, "No, I need to read well." And I actually put this on the film, like she's trying to read and then like reading perfectly, you know, because she was actually. So for me, this tells so much about us, you know. All of us was a child, you know. In Brazil, in Sudan, in Uganda, we was a child, you know, and it still has this child here, you know. We don't, you know. I think they took so much of us, you know, but they try to take our humanity from us, you know. But kids are here to teach us how human we are.
I just have one more comment that in the beginning, at the start, there was. I love the idea of what children are playing with now. The first image of the film, when this child was building on the phone, it kind of tells you right now visual reality, even though by then AI had not become a thing, or by the time you filmed. But I loved seeing this child building, this young girl or boy who it was, building in this visual world that they're in, then going back to the Genesis. I really think it was a very, very strong image that when you're talking now, I got drawn into this child's story. I was like, is it going to be, you take us through what we see as construction now to the Genesis, and I think that's just a comment that I really wanted to shout out.
No, I just want to add a quick follow-up. It was so funny because when I saw the photos, I never realized that there are child there. Just when I show to my niece, she's like, "Oh, there's child here, child," because child they recognize themselves. And I learned so much because we, as a grown-up, like we have a mission to take care of our child. Doesn't matter if you are the parents, you know. If it has a child here, we need to take care of them. You know, this is Motiro, too. This is Motiro. In the Motiro, you saw like the elders construct a school to protect the kids, you know, from the dangers of the streets, you know. I will start to cry here, but no, but we can continue. Let's go to the. So I will break down here. Like, let's see the movie, the new movie.
Okay. So we're going to watch one more short film by LK.
Yeah, you go there. It's my friend Pedro. I call this film my friend Pedro mixtape because he has kind of mixtape rap format, you know. I don't call it film, but it will be a film, and it is a film, but it's a mixtape already.
sujo da Leopoldina correndo, correndo, parece dizer, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome. Estação de Caxias, de novo a correr, de novo a dizer, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome. Vigário Geral, Lucas Cordovil, Brás de Pina, Benha Circular, Olaria, Ramos, Bom Sucesso, Carlos Chaga, Triagem, Mauá. Trem sujo da Leopoldina correndo, correndo, parece dizer, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome. Quantas caras tristes querendo chegar em algum destino, em algum lugar. Trem sujo da Leopoldina correndo, correndo, parece dizer, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome, tem gente com fome. Só nas estações quando vai parando lentamente começa a dizer, se tem gente com fome, dá de comer. Se tem gente com fome, dá de comer. Se tem gente com fome, dá de comer. Mas o freio de ar, todo autoritário, manda o trem calar. Solano Trindade.
Esse sistema de elogio que marca o cinema brasileiro, ele é um saco, assim, né? Porque no limite ele é uma máscara, ele não é real, né? Primeiro que ele não é real, segundo que ele parece uma estratégia muito deliberada de você assim minar tudo que tudo que se pretende de alguma forma uma radicalidade, né? O elogio parece nomear para segurar, né? Nomear para cessar, né? Nomear para parar, né? Nunca é impulso, né? Ele na verdade ele é estrangulamento, eu penso. E eu não sei o que está acontecendo, que o cinema brasileiro agora é tão cheio de elogios, assim, né? As pessoas estão não sei se por carência ou ignorância, só há uma paisagem de elogios, né? O tempo inteiro. Enfim, eu não entendo.
Nossa casa monstra! Cê é louco, ladrão! Você está aqui, pai? Encostar humildemente? Barraco monstro? Ave! Fazer igual o Papa, quando chega nos picos. Dá beijo no chão, caralho. Mas é desse jeito. Você é louco. Então aí, deixa eu dar um abraço nesse mano.
Nossa! Aí sim, hein? Agora tá como? Favela chique mesmo.
Nossa privada tem até um altar.
Não, eu falei, meus pezinhos vão ficar balançando aqui, ó. Mandar a cagadinha tipo
Nossa,
criança.
tá muito lindo. A pia também trocou, babado, passado.
Não, pega nosso sofá verdão, então.
Vocês pintaram? Olha, a gente reformou.
Os corintianos tá elogiando.
Tipo, não, eu já briguei com isso, né? Já briguei.
Não, você não brigou não, você deu uma elogiada.
Não, falei que tá bonito, mas não era pra cerveja, caralho. Não era cerveja.
Não, sem micro-ondas. Passada. A torneira!
A velhinha tá vendo as coisas tudo mais rápido que eu. Eu demorei pra ver tudo.
A máquina, babando! Passada, viado!
Peão de quarta-feira, de carrinho bonito, quadrinha de basquete. É louco, hein, ladrão? O bagulho ficou doido hoje, hein?
Quem vem da margem não é tão simples. Um mundo que odeia ver pretos livres. Eu tive minhas crises, dias difíceis. Sobrevivi, aprendi com os declives. Amigos sinceros eu encontrei. O Gás fez os beats e eu remei. A Fran e o Lincoln acreditando quando nem eu acreditei. E eu segui firme pela minha coroa. E eu estudei focando lá na frente. Hoje eu só quero viver da minha arte, conciliar e ser um pai presente. O medo deve ser menor que a coragem. Faço minha parte, acredito no time. Meu estúdio é um set de filmagem. Porque essa mixtape.
Maybe I can hear you guys. Do you like it? Do you want to have some questions? We have 10 more minutes. I want to hear you guys. Anyone has a question? No, I can talk. Anyone? Okay. It's so good for me to see this movie because, like, it's not about our joy in the hood, you know. It's about possibilities, about future possibilities, you know. Because I still see this movie as a possibility, you know. I still don't have money. I still don't have, like, nothing, but I have, like, my house reforming with the money that I earn with my work, you know, my hard work in cinema, and the work that I want to do, not the work that I didn't want to do. So it's not about just show how happy we are. No, it's just to show how happy we can be, you know? And even though, like, we still are living in a difficult situation in our neighborhood, like we still are living, like, for example, like the police is there is like killing so much, you know, so much. They have, like, in the summer right now, they have, like, this operation that basically was just killing young ones in the street, you know. So it's not just about, like, oh, this shit is going on, but we are happy as an individual. No, for me, it's like seeing my friends being happy for me and me being happy for my friends conquers, you know, like, it's about possibilities. It's about future, you know. It's about mutual aid, you know, because we would just, like, reform our house because, like, I make films like this, you know. For this film, it was the highest budget that I have. Yeah, it was 100K reais. I won this grant, you know, to do this film. And I didn't want, like, to do this fancy film. No, I want to do this film with my memories, with my friends' memories, and I give them money. The money is for people, not just to show how rich our film are, you know. So it's different film, one made by with a little budget, who is Mutirão, and this with the larger budget that I have in my life. But I don't need it, like, fancy cameras to do. Because this, for me, like, 10 years later, 20 years later, we'll talk more about our time than, like, fancy cameras, you know. Because if you turn on Netflix, all films, like, looks the same, you know. The same cameras, the same history, you know. Like, if you look, like, every streaming, films look like the same. And I know because, like, I work as an editor. No, my main job is an editor to feature films and films for these people. And they actually obligate you to use this camera, to use this actor, you know. So they have a farm, you know, who maybe is working for them. But when I show my people, I don't want to fix me in a box, you know, so for me, the format, like, you have, like, the vertical, horizontal thing. This tells so much about our time, you know, like, and I need to keep this on the screen. And yeah, and I need to give my friends money, you know. We are talking about task force, about mutual aid, about Mutiro. We need to distribute our money between ourselves, you know.
But also, they are the film, right? They are the components.
They are the actors in the film. They need to be paid.
Yeah, that's your budget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you, for example, for me it's an ethical thing. If I'm showing in a community, I need to give money to that community. You know? I always saw people coming to my neighborhood to shoot films, you know, like, and they never leave anything for us. We always are joking around our film collectives who people like these big organizations, they try to teach us how to film, you know, because we know how to film, but they still trying to teach us like how to film. Aiden came like with the cameras, the fancy cameras, and we always compare like a lollipop. Like they give us the lollipop and we are sucking the lollipop. They go out and take out the lollipop like in the middle, and I was just like, oh shit. So but for me, budget is a Motiro thing too. You know, like we need to talk about money. Money is not bad for us. Actually, money is the solution, but not a solution as a capitalist way. You know, it's the solution because we need to survive and we need to share money with us. It's about mutual aid. It's about Motiro. True.
Okay, I think we are very over time. And we're going to talk about money in future sessions. So I think it's a nice segue.
Let's go.
Non-capitalist money.
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much, LK. I think everybody really enjoyed hearing from you and learned so much. And yeah.
Thank you, Rupa, my sister. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
I'm
all.
here.
So we're going to take
talk,
just a 5-minute break.
Okay.
There's still, I think, coffee, tea, some breakfast over there. And then we're going to come back and watch Suddenly TV. It's a 20-minute short film and have another conversation and a mobile phone filmmaking workshop.
Let me just add something. Like I want your WhatsApp. You know, grab my WhatsApp. We keep in touch. Like this is not just the end. It's not the end. You know, it's just the beginning that our conversation. So grab my WhatsApp. We can like work together. Screening our films in Brazil. You know, we are still working. You know, so actually come here to work to grab my WhatsApp. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
So we'll see everybody back here in 10 minutes, okay? I said 5. 5 minutes, okay? And then we'll watch another movie.
I share my QR code on WhatsApp.
Show you what?
My QR code on WhatsApp.
Oh, I learned how to do that. It's part of your profile.
Oh, no, yeah.
Welcome, Ibrahim. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
morning. Huh? I know, I came at the very fucking end. I missed almost everything. I know, I'm gonna watch it. How were everyone's questions? حاصل شنو؟ Where are we in our day? احنا وين في يومنا؟ ثاني صح؟
طلعت القمرة الخير يا عشايا تودينا لأهلنا بيسألوك مننا طلعت القمرة الخير يا عشايا تودينا لأهلنا بيسألوك مننا طلعت القمرة الخير يا عشايا تودينا لأهلنا بيسألوك مننا غنت في قلبي نية تمسح بقبله الدار بلية ألوك مننا تمسح بقبله الدار بلية يبلع جب لخصيبه بلية يسألوك مننا طلعت القمرة الخير يا عشايا تودينا لأهلنا بيسألوك مننا غنت فيك البنات يا ضوى القبايل يا مقنع القشفة ألوك مننا يا ضوى القبايل يا مقنع القشفة الكل بورقة يا مدرج العطر ألوك مننا لو طلعت القمرة الخير يا عشايا تودينا لأهلنا بيسألوك مننا شوف الجمال شوف عاله في الديوان لا في شاله يا هلا بيسألوك مننا ودايرين تعرفوا حاله في الكرم ما فيش مثاله يا هلا بيسألوك مننا This is amazing. So this is now on our YouTube channel as well.